All right, Shalom. Shalom, giving all praises, glory, and honors unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, the rest of the whole full elect out there, the brothers and sisters that believe. This is your brother and the priest, Desire Warren from GMS Atlanta, back with another edifying video. And this is going to be real quick. This is an update to the coming MOTB and the digital ID technology. In the different countries around the world that are setting this system up. More nations, more countries are setting up biometrics and national digital IDs, and it's becoming evident that this is the beginning of the fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16, where a mark will be required to buy and sell and be a part of this new global government system. Okay? So this says Malawi, which Malawi is in Africa. Let's just look this up real quick. The country of Malawi, a landlocked country in southern Central Africa. Okay? And the continent of Africa has been pushing for biometrics and digital ID for the longest now. Different countries are already setting it up. Nigeria, Chad, the Congo, and so forth. This is a global project, okay, as they call it, a global agenda. So it says Malawi eyes SDG 16.9 target with a universal legal identity blueprint. Okay. So it says Malawi doesn't want to be left behind in terms of meeting the 16.9 target of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, okay, SDGs, which requires countries to provide legal identity to everyone, including birth registration by 2030. The country recently unveiled a blueprint to enable it to quicken its steps towards meeting that objective. Right, so like I said, this is a part of the MOTB being set up. Through the National Registration Bureau's 2025-2030 strategic plan, which it launched last month, the Southeastern African nation intends to ensure that all births, marriages, and deaths are registered by 2030. So this is their way of control. Already the country has a high national ID adoption rate with over 12 million citizens having legal identity. So let's read the prophecy. Okay, this is what we're seeing begin to come to pass now. Okay. Revelation 13 and 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So it's all citizens to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So eventually, instead of just being registered in this digital ID, national ID system, people are going to need the physical device, which is the mark, the biometric implant that will go in the hand or your brain. So just the Neuralink, it'll go under your skin. Okay, but first they're just getting you a part of the system. And what we got to understand too is not all countries have a social security system like America does. But even that is being phased out eventually here in the U.S. for the digital ID. It says, anchored on 6 major pillars, the strategy outlines how the Malawian government intends to modernize. That's one thing that they've been speaking on, modernization and digitalization. Okay? Which is, part of the image of the beast is transforming from the old world to this new digital digital world system. Its civil registration and national digital ID system, not only to provide a secure, verifiable, and inclusive legal identity, right? Inclusion for all, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, right? Just as the prophecy says, for all citizens, but to enable them use it as a tool to easily access a wide range of services. Like what services? Government services that provide welfare. Okay, in the public and private sector. So we believe also that the digital ID, the reason why you have this government shutdown here in the U.S. and they're snatching away these benefits from these women is for the digital ID system to be set up, and the work requirements that Trump was setting up. So basically, you're going to have to meet certain requirements in order to get those benefits back. So we'll see how long these people are without SNAP and EBT and other benefits going into November. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm going to just try to run through these. So the next country, it says Cameroon, which is also in Africa, partners with Liber Technologies to pursue CRVS reforms. So it says Cameroon's National Civil Status Registration Office has brought in a Luxembourg partner. Now, this is coming out of the Beast. Luxembourg is a part of the Beast system, the 7 heads, 10 horns, out of Europe, which are countries ruled by Europe. Okay? Ruled by Europe, ruled by Esau. All right? The Edomites. To support its ongoing civil status system digitization efforts. Okay? Like we've been speaking about, Esau is the one that is setting up the digital ID, the Beast system, and eventually the MOTB. Okay? So it says the law number 2024/016 of the 23rd of December 2024 to organize the civil registration system in Cameroon made major changes to the civil status registration process and introduces several novelties, including the issuance of digital civil status documents. The law also aims to effectively complement efforts already being made by the government to fully digitize the country's civil registration system by 2029. So yeah, we're definitely close to Revelation 13 and 16 coming to pass. First they set up the infrastructure, and then they introduced the mark. So this is coming out of Asia. Sri Lanka completes procurement for new government cloud. Okay, let's just read this part here. It says the government issued the request for proposals for a new Lanka government cloud environment some months ago, and the procurement process was completed earlier this month. Dr. Hans, advisor to the president of Sri Lanka on digital economy, told Biometric Update on Friday. The LGC 2.5 is now ready for the transfer of workloads from the existing system. LGC 2.5 provides a fully resilient and technologically advanced infrastructure with increased capacity and hence represents a major upgrade with respect to cloud capability. Because they have to have in order to hold all that data that they're going to be collecting from the digital ID system and so forth, you got to have these things set up. And it's a government cloud, right? So let me read this. The country is in the midst of establishing a national digital ID and maintaining the sovereignty and security of the sensitive biometric and biographical data. So all your information will be in these government cloud systems. Okay? It says in maintaining the sovereignty and security of the sensitive biometric and biographical data involved is essential for public trust in the government's digital transformation strategy. So this is a global thing, man. A global scheme, as they call it. All right? It's a plan, and it's a scheme, an agenda. It's a project that they're putting into practice. Okay? And they want this digital ID system to go online, So this here says West Virginia, right? This is coming out of the U.S. Babylon the Great. West Virginia joins states with mobile driver's licenses in Apple Wallet. So this is another setup for the digital ID. It says West Virginia driver's licenses and state IDs can now be added to Apple Wallet, according to an announcement from Governor Patrick Morrisey and IDEMIA Public Security North America, which provides biometric tools to the West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles. And I spoke on this before. They also want a setup for the passports to go in your Apple Wallet as well. Yeah, so this is a step closer to the digital ID, right? There are now 12 states that issue MDLs or mobile driver's licenses in Apple Wallet that are accepted TSA checkpoints. At TSA checkpoints. So just like earlier this year was a requirement for you to have a real ID to travel, right? That's a precursor to you eventually having to take the MOTB. You know, the implant in your hand. So we're here. We're at the end. We're at the end of these major prophecies, and at the beginning as well of these prophecies coming to pass. So this is another country, Norway, testing homomorphic encryption with mobile for biometric template protection. Now, when I was reading through this, they're setting up this biometric security system for your identity and also the banking system. So it says the cryptography works in the following way. The bank collects a selfie image of a customer, and the image is processed into a biometric template and encrypted. The encrypted data is used to perform a match with the ID document. The bank is the only entity that can decrypt the decision and thereby authenticate the user, explains Peter Tobel, Vice President of Business Development at Mobile. And then see, next you're going to need the chip, and then that's what's going to give you access instead of all this facial recognition and fingerprinting. So they're setting it up in Norway as well. The project should solve a very real-world problem. Banks usually require customers to come to physical offices where they take their photo, which is then compared with an image in the national ID document. So now they can do it biometrically and they can store it. And they're setting up something called Bank ID, digital wallets. Okay? Hey, GMS is once again proven correct. And then you're going to see how even more right GMS has been when they actually introduce these implants and their requirement to take. Well, you know why these other Israelites groups are have been speaking lies on GMS and not been breaking down the scriptures as we teach it, or they say they can't see it, or if they sold out, then that's going to lead to them being destroyed by the Lord. There's only one truth. There's only one truth, and GMS has it. The other Israelite groups and your leaders, y'all need to get in line, get in check, and get on board with the 100% truth. Because you're going to find out what the mark is. It's not sin in all its form like the IUIC says. Sin in all its form. That doesn't even make sense. Social media regulation goes viral is NZ, New Zealand. EU look to follow Australia. Debate over digital age of majority continues, but political support. Yeah, they've been doing this online digital verification system, setting it up, basically try to control the internet. So more, digital surveillance. So yeah, all this is moving toward the fulfillment of the scripture. Okay, so I'll read this one more time. Revelation 13. I started verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image, which is this new system they're setting up, digital ID system, biometric digital surveillance system, right? And it caused that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you're not registered, then you're going to be looked at as an enemy, a terrorist, and they will try to unalive you, put you in prison, you know. Verse 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. That's that inclusion for all citizens that these governments are setting up for this registration of the digital ID system, right? It says to receive a mark in the right hand or in the forehead, which is eventually, the digital ID is not the mark, but it's the lead up to the mark, where you have to get the implant in your body. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you're going to have to be a part of that system and have that device. So, you know, with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. We're close. Prophecy's being fulfilled. With that, I'll say shalom.